All right, welcome everybody. Happy Friday. It is upon us. Football, football, football. So happy. So happy, right? Even if the Razorbacks are struggling a little bit, it's still, be thankful it's this time of year. Right? I mean, that's what we yearn for this time of year. We yearn for it all off season. It's here. It's not going our way right now, but maybe that'll change starting this weekend. What do you guys think? 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans? SEC fans everywhere, welcome to Tuss Talk with Ty. Friday show. No Flamingo Friday. I apologize. Nothing like that today. Ram hat. Ram helmets, and then the big, fancy, super sexy Razorback chrome helmet back there. We're doing it. That's what we're doing. Yeah, Rams aren't very good either this year. I don't think they make the playoffs. But it is what it is. You have to cherish what they did last year and hope that they can figure it out by the end of the year. I'm not so sure that they do. Razorbacks are in a similar situation. Last year they won 9 games. They didn't quite win the equivalent of a Super Bowl, but for fans it felt like that in a way. In a way, bear with me. You win 9 games after the ending of the Brett Bielema era, the 2 years of Chad Morris, and then the 2020 season, which, you know, you saw it. There was a better product on the field. And then all of a sudden in 2021, it all kind of came together, right? That's how it was for the Rams last year. So there's some similarities there. And then they're both not quite living up to the hype this year. So is what it is, right? Get all this stuff off my screen here. First off, shout out to Patreon supporters. I told you guys we'd get that straightened out, and we did. Look at that. There's the month of September. Look at you guys. 43, I think, was the number of Patreon supporters, which is awesome. Awesome, awesome. I think our record, I could be wrong on this. I think it's 45. But, you know, listen, we're still doing well. Appreciate you guys. Also, Apex Tattoo Studio, located in Rogers, the show's sponsor. There's some new art on their Discord page, or on their page under the Tuss Talk with Ty. But it's Apex Tattoo Studio, located in Rogers, Arkansas, 615 West Oak Street, 72756. Phone number 479-278-2694. Again, that's 278-2694 if you guys want to get set up. You want to get some ink done. Someone shared in our Discord, and I found this interesting. All right, so I don't know why it won't pull up here. Hang on just a second. Pull up. There we go. Let me see if I can get this. Hunter Yurchek posted, Razorback fans can now order their favorite Razorback football player jersey. I don't know if you guys got a chance to check this out, but let me flip my screen around here. Here we go. Here's what you can do now. You can order the jersey of your favorite player for a whopping $189.95. So you know after taxes that sumbitch is going to be like $200. And that is the official Nike. I mean, there it is. This is the official jersey, man. This isn't some, third-party company that the U of A struck a deal with. This is actual Nike, which is great. They only go up to 3X, right? For my fellow bigger men. They do not, I don't know that they make a 4X jersey, actually. I have no idea if Nike does, but it goes all the way up to 3X. I mean, that is sexy. I mean, let's not sit here and act like that isn't just a thing of beauty. Is it worth $200? Dude, my Aaron Donald official Nike jersey was not $200. I think after taxes I paid $120 for it, and that's official Nike. Like, this isn't, I don't know, man. $200? What do you guys think? Would you pay for that? There's the back. I mean, it should come with something, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know, but it feels like it should come with something. Ugh, gross. Gross. Don't like that. Nope. Anything with the FFH on the front, I'm done. Not only that, the little white, I never understood this. I think these were supposed to be like tusks underneath the armpit or something. Never understood that design. This though is gorgeous. So there you go. If you guys want to go order yourself a jersey, there you have it. Don't know that I'm going to spend $200. Don't know. What's up with the Rams? Can they redeem themselves? I don't know, Brooks. Offensive line. I think they're going to hold tryouts for center. It's a Tusk, LOL. I get that, but it's disgusting. I get what it is. I just don't understand why there. Just didn't make any sense. Yo, what's up, Ramon Shiesty? How you doing? You guys make sure you like the stream, share the content, and subscribe if you haven't already. I think every one of you in here are already subscribed, but it'd be awesome if you share the content with a friend or family member on social media. Driving to Tulsa to catch my flight to Salt Lake. Says Tercer87. So I want to make something clear. Tercer was in my comments the other day asking me about Malik Hornsby, a comment that I made on my Monday show, asking me about my words about Cade. Well, saying that Arkansas didn't score without Malik Hornsby. Maybe I misphrased it. I don't know. But I want to be perfectly clear. I have no idea what Cade Fortin would have done in the rest of that game. I will tell you, though, Tercer, as someone who has watched him in fall camp, someone who has seen the guy throw the ball, is he capable? Sure. Does Arkansas put 17 points on the board with him starting and finishing that game? Probably not. Simply because of he is limited as a player, as an athlete. He is limited. I'm not saying he's incapable of doing something. I'm not saying he couldn't go down there and score, right? But I want to make that clear. Malik Hornsby, when on the field, he was the reason why those drives were successful and they ended in touchdowns. So just to be crystal clear, I'm not saying Cade Fortin is a trash quarterback by any stretch of the imagination. Not saying that. I just think that his skill set is really limited. And I don't know that Arkansas puts 7. I don't know that Arkansas scores beyond maybe a score. Maybe if he's lucky, they lead him down the field for a field goal. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but I will tell you, Malik Hornsby made his own fair amount of mistakes in that game, but he's just he's a different player on a much higher level than Cade Fortin is. Hey, Ty, a tad less homeless today, sir. Well, because I'm wearing my ball cap. I'm wearing my Rams cap. That's why. All right, Arkansas on the road against BYU. You guys go ahead and send in your scores. Go ahead and send me your scores. Give me your predictions. Perfect timing, darling. Russian the porn bots. Yeah, the porn bots aren't spamming. Yeah, if you haven't already, go check out Discord as well. We've got a pretty good battle going on in the XP in our game that we're playing here with the XP game in Discord. We got a pretty good battle. So if you guys if you're not in our Discord, you really should check it out. John says 38-24 BYU. Yeah, we'll just stick with that. We'll just BYU. Yeah, I think that this is a game that carries so much with it. It's going to be a good road test for the Hogs, no doubt. Alrighty, I respect it. Thanks for clarifying. Yeah, I wanted to yeah. It's hard to, you can only, sometimes when you're typing, you can't, it's hard to be crystal clear when you could just have it from me here, my own mouth. Hogs bounce back, 31-27, says Tyler G. Jay Carpenter says 24-27 Hogs. All right. Sup, chaps? How you doing, Rob? Rob is a part of that battle that's going on in Discord. Didn't you break into the top 5 last night, Rob? With your XP wheel spin? Barely active in Discord. I mean, as far as commenting, right? But he gets in on these XP wheel spins, and he's won back-to-back weeks. Scott Swindle says, I think I picked the Hogs 34-17. Hogs, I think they go in there and show out. Well, if they're going to do it, this is the weekend to do it. This is the weekend to do it. Now's the time. Right? This is could be, when you look at the matchup, right? Arkansas should be able to run the football on BYU. You're riding a 3-game losing streak into this thing. And the question's going to be, okay, they've run the ball pretty well against these last 3 opponents, and they've still managed to catch the L. Can they figure out how to just play a complete game on both sides of the ball? And I know defensively we're all so skeptical of what's going on over there, rightfully so. But, yeah, Arkansas-BYU right now is a deadlock. It's in a deadlock. The the Football Power Index, Mr. Haas's favorite thing in the world, has BYU at 63% favored, Arkansas 36%. The spread is even. I don't know that I've ever seen that. I'll be honest. I've been doing this for a while. And that forces you to kind of pay attention to what's going on down in the pick center on ESPN's site, and then kind of looking at the odds. I'm not sure that I've ever seen even spread for the Razorbacks. I'm not sure that I've seen that. Pause that. 36% for Arkansas, 63%. By the way, the FPI is 6-0 for the Razorbacks. Well, picking their games. Just saying. I refuse to make a prediction this week. My superstitious radar is going nuts right now, so I'm avoiding all jinxes. Yeah. All right. I felt the look. Yeah. Make sure you guys like the stream, share the content, please, somewhere on social media. That would be fantastic. Subscribe if you guys are new here. I'm going to be extremely sad if we lose 4 straight. Yep. Yeah, you lost 3 straight last year. The Razorbacks found a way. They bounced back, started playing better football. Maybe that's what happens. Maybe this is that tipping point when Arkansas just, I don't know, something just goes off, right? Something just happens. Either it's a, position movement, or someone just pulls their head out of their ass somewhere. But, that's what they're going to need. These 2 away games, and I'll even say at Auburn. I don't care. I know Auburn is not a very good football team. I know Harsin is. Hell, I don't know if the guy's going to be the head coach by the time the Razorbacks play him. I don't care. Mickey Mouse could coach this team. Bobby Boucher could coach Auburn. And it's like, I still wouldn't feel comfortable. Auburn, like A&M, it just doesn't seem to matter if you're better than them on paper or if the product on the field is better. It doesn't matter. They find ways to beat you. And I'm now show us something this weekend. Show us something this weekend against BYU in a very hostile crowd in Provo, Utah. Put it together, right? Put a better product on the field on both sides of the ball. And the Hogs have a shot. Absolutely. And here's what's crazy. I think they do have a shot at winning out. But just as likely, they have a shot at losing out. And you kind of feel like this game might change that where you're at What's at the table right now? Well, what's at the table is losing out, missing a bowl game. Even if you win this game, missing a bowl game is still at the table. But if you go on the road to Provo and you just stomp a mud hole in the Cougars, you beat these guys like 49-14. You make your presence felt. Oh, that's why everyone was so high on these Razorbacks. That's what it was all preseason football. That's what it was. There it is. We saw it. You're going to start changing some hearts and minds. Those fickle fans may not be so fickle, but then you got to prove it again on the road in a place where you have struggled to win since being in this damn conference. At Auburn on the 29th. Liberty on the 5th. LSU, who is much better than I thought they would be, on the 12th. Ole Miss, also much better than I thought they would be on the 19th. And Mizzou is about what I thought they would be, but they're showing that they're scrappy. And you got to play on the road. And we've seen Georgia had to claw their way out of Columbia, Missouri. I mean, some things had to go Georgia's way to win that football game. So I'm just saying there are no gimmies. It's all like coin flips or the odds are against you. And BYU, the odds are against you. This is one of those games, despite how bad they are on defense, especially against the run, despite that, this is still a game you could drop, right? Looking at BYU and something that Dudley Dawson pointed out yesterday in beating these guys, and I think this is going to be the Razorbacks. I think this is going to be their approach every week to just keep the opposing offense on the sidelines. Oregon kind of did it, but it was Notre Dame, and this is the game you've got to pay attention to, right? This is the game you look at and you go, okay, maybe we could do something similar to what they did. Yeah, they only beat BYU at home by 8 points. It's not like they blew them out of the water. And think about how much more talent Notre Dame has on that roster too, by the way. And BYU went on the road and gave them a football game. Notre Dame's not as good as everyone thought they'd be this year. For sure, vastly overrated. But they ran the ball 45 times for 234 yards, right? But the most important thing, they dominated the clock. They dominated. The Cougars only had the ball on offense for 19 minutes in this game. 19:05 to be precise. Notre Dame had it for almost 41 minutes. They kept BYU's offense on the sidelines, and yet they still scored 20 points. I mean, that's not half bad. You have the ball for 19 minutes and you manage to get 20 points. That's not great, but that's not bad. But Notre Dame managed to keep the ball because they ran up the clock. Ran down the clock. They ate the clock. They made the clock their bitch. That's right. You know what kind of show this is. You know what this is. Notre Dame had 496 total yards of offense. They threw the ball for 262 yards. They kept Hall, BYU's quarterback, in check. He was 9 of 17 for 120 yards, Jaron Hall was. They ran the ball for quite a bit of yards, though. Christopher Brooks ran the ball 14 times for 90 yards, 160 yards total on the ground for BYU. They can kind of get it done. On defense, the guy you got to watch out for is Max Tooley. That dude's for real. Linebacker. He's got 2 interceptions that are pick sixes. He's 6'2". I think he's about 220. He has 3 picks on the year. He's a junior. He's ripping it up. Now, he might be about 32 years old, but, that's okay. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. He's also got 1, maybe 2 sacks on the year. No drops, tied, no drops, bro. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, for the offense, right, for Arkansas. Ramon Shiesty says 42-38 BYU. That's his score. I've been picking the Hogs every game, but they keep losing, so I'm going to switch it up. Shaheed Mustafa's taking BYU 35-20. Captain Mike says 7-5. Changed my mind. I think 7-5 is at the table. You guys hear me? That's my favorite reference or my favorite kind of analogy there. It's just let's just talk about what's at the table for the Hogs. And I really think anything is. Like, that's what's nuts about this team. I think everything's at the table. losing out, winning out, making a bowl, missing a bowl. It's all there. It's all at the table. In this game, I've mentioned the word catalyst, the beginning of. This could be the beginning of something special here. If you could manage to go on the road, play lights out against BYU. You don't have to play perfect against BYU, but play lights out. Rinse and repeat against Auburn. All of a sudden, you're riding a 2-game winning streak coming home to Fayetteville to play Liberty. And then you're still home. You're home for 3 weeks. Liberty, LSU, and Ole Miss. Ole Miss, I don't know. That game right now I have chalked up as an automatic L. I don't like Arkansas's chances in that game. But a lot could change. A lot could change. If you make some fixes, right, and you talk about Hudson Clark moving over to middle safety, I think that was a win for them last week. I think he did a pretty good job. I don't know that listen, when you get through a week with nobody on Twitter or Discord is griping and moaning about him, that's got to be a win for that guy. I thought he looked pretty good. I thought he passed the eye test over there. Yeah, 7-5 isn't I mean, it's probably not what a lot of Hog fans had in mind. Brian Fraser says 7-5, terrible. I'm not impressed. Yeah, I don't know, Mike or Brian. I don't know that I think you have to keep in mind the strength of schedule. I think you have to keep in mind how tough this schedule was for Arkansas this year. All the changes they had on both sides of the ball, particularly in the secondary, the injuries, like these things do matter. But I will agree. I do agree. I don't know that the defense was prepared for this at all. I don't know that they were prepared for all the changes. I don't know that they were, they did a good job in the portal. I do think they did a good job in the transfer portal. I do. And I know that's not a real popular opinion, but I mean, it is because Drew Sanders and McLaughlin and, those guys have had moments for sure. But when you talk about what you've lost, right, with Brooks and Fouché, pretty big losses. Richard Neal says, I thought Hudson did great being in a new position. Yeah, I thought he did too. Watching from work because I'm a road dog, but I'm not sure that the season is a wash at this point. Not good, not bad, but everything may just be about going to a bowl and setting up next season. Yeah. No, I agree. I think you have to if you make a bowl game, I think right now that's your win. And I hate to say that, and I know that's not where fans, especially when you look at Mississippi State, when you look at Tennessee, who's year 2 with Heupel, when you look at Ole Miss, you see how these teams look to be further ahead in year 2 and year 3, and Arkansas is going backwards. It's not something you want to see. I get it. It's not something Hog fans are real fond of. But it just kind of is what it is, right? And I think, too, the hand they were dealt this year, not great, right? And then on top of a lot of misses on defense and recruiting over the last 2 or 3 years. A lot of guys committing elsewhere on defense. And I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now, but you've missed a lot, right? And you look at what's going on the defensive side of the ball, and some people are going, I don't know why they're this bad. I don't know what's going on. Well, if you look back the last 3 years, and you can't take the portal out of the equation because the portal has had an impact on this defense in a good way and in a bad way. But you have to really ask yourselves, what the hell is going on with recruiting on the defensive side of the ball? What is going on? It's not been good. And this is pre-Sam Pittman. This goes back, we're only year 3, right? But that's every year, some shitty bowl. Yeah. You also got to look at it where 2 of our lower conference opponents in Cincinnati and BYU are going to be Power 5 teams next year. We don't have a week off, and there is that. Yeah, now, I've said for a while, I think Cincinnati's the most overrated. They have talent well beyond their schedule, but Again, the measuring stick for me is always how well would they perform if they were in the SEC West, and they've got 6-6 written all over them in this conference. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. They're going to win out. They should win out. They struggled against South Florida. Did you guys see that? Going into the fourth quarter to South Florida. Makes you wonder if Rouser would have made an impact. Rouser was that bright spot in the secondary, and I'm not saying they've landed absolute zeros either. I'm not saying they're all not good players. I'm not saying that at all. But the overall, when you look at the roster and the last two recruiting classes on the defensive side of the ball, it's not gone in Arkansas's favor. Let's look at this let's go back to this Arkansas BYU matchup. Again, PFF I keep saying Pro Football Focus. I've got that stuck in my head. The FPI does favor BYU. Arkansas, one of the elite running offenses in the country. The problem is they're unbalanced. They run 75% of the time. The offense is not. No one. If you ask anybody, whether it's fans or media or whoever, hell, Sam Pittman will tell you, they're not balanced on the offensive side of the ball. And that's been a problem. There have been teams in the past where, they throw the ball a lot. You look at the air raid, Mike Leach, but what are they doing different this year? What's Mississippi State doing different? They're so much more balanced than they've been. You cannot run strictly air raid, throwing the ball 60 times a game in the SEC. It's just not something that's ever worked. Petrino knew that, and that's why he was such a good fit at Arkansas here, because he could run a balanced offense, and he did. And the result was the result was 2010, 2011. It was balanced, and he was an offensive genius, and I think Leach is an offensive genius. For the most part, I don't know. Is he worthy of the genius title? I think he is. He has a reputation for high octane offenses, right? These offenses that score points in a hurry. But he's installed more of a run game. And look how much better they are on offense, how much more effective they are. They ran the ball 6 straight times against Arkansas. It was only a matter of time when they hired him. It was only a matter of time that they were going to get this thing figured out. His problem has always been, okay, well, now they've reached the tippity top. Maybe they win 10, and then he falls flat on his face, the next year. That's always kind of been my skepticism of him. But Mississippi State appears to have made the right hire. You ask a Mississippi State fan now this year where they're at with him. Ole Miss, a little bit more balanced. They're playing good football. Tennessee's just cutting it up. I don't know, man. Tennessee just looks really good. Are they further ahead, or do they have less injuries? It could be a little bit of both, though, right, Kevin? Couldn't it be both? I think it certainly could be both. Is recruiting nosediving daily? No. When you look, the 2023 class is pretty much done. They're waiting on one prospect. I don't know. I don't have the latest on Vice and Ling. I don't know what's going on there. But when does FPI not favor the other team? Well, this year it's I think it's 6-0. Pretty sure. I could be wrong on that. I think it did pick us to beat. Maybe it was 5-1. Didn't it pick us to lose to Cincinnati? Whatever happened with you and Jacob Davis doing the Hog Talk podcast, those were the good old days. Yep, those were the good old days. Ole Miss defense is still sus to me. Yeah, you know who's sus, and people aren't talking about it. They're talking about how great their offense is. What they're not talking about is how bad their secondary is, and that's Tennessee. Tennessee's secondary is worse than Arkansas's. When you look at the stat sheet, their defense is not great, man. It's bad. It's really bad. I kind of wonder what that game looks like. Arkansas, a lot of questions need to be answered in this game, and you should have an opportunity. You should have an opportunity. Let's talk about McAdoo really quick. He's going to go McAdoo's playing with the defense. This coming from Sam Pittman. He hurt his hand, wouldn't do a lot of good at wide receiver. He went to the staff to play DB. Sam Pittman says he's a natural. He and Bakke both will have the choice. You know, Samuel Bakke also, former 3-star wide receiver. These are two true freshmen. They're both going to have the choice to go back to wide receiver next spring. That choice, that opportunity will be in front of them come springtime. They're both really excited for the opportunity to play on defense, and don't know if they're quite there yet in terms of getting reps on the field during game time. But after the bye week, they're going to play. They will help us this year. That coming from Sam Pittman. KJ Jefferson is full go. He should be good to go. BYU has announced Saturday's game a sellout. The Cougars are holding a quote-unquote white out, with the fans asked to wear white apparel and the team decked out in white with royal blue trim and hand-painted helmets. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to look at these helmets. They're interesting. Lavelle Edwards Stadium sits – it's right above 63,000 people. The Razorbacks will be playing their first game in Utah, but another will follow soon. Arkansas has a 2-game contract with Utah that will see the Razorbacks play at Eccles Rice Stadium in Salt Lake City, September 12th, 2026. The Utes are slated to return the game on September 15th, 2029. I hate that. I hate how they split those up like that. Well, all of a sudden, my allergies just kicking my ass. I don't like that. I don't like how it's like, yeah, you'll play in 2015, and then the follow-up game for your non-conference opponent will happen like 6 years later. I hate that. But I guess it's just what they got to do with the scheduling. No. Yeah, so Arkansas, BYU. If you guys haven't already, feel free give me your wins lot or give me your score if you haven't already. Agreed. This game will tell us what we can expect from this team the rest of the year. I love that KJ got a bye week, so honestly, he has no excuse to ball out. Well, I mean that's not. I mean you could also look at the other way around. He spent a week where he wasn't active with the team last week. I don't know if it's that black and white, but he did. I mean, he got a week where he wasn't taking punishment, right? He wasn't on the field getting knocked around last week. And Bakke's 6'3". Yeah, Bakke's a big dude. Yeah, he's like a tall 6'2", short 6'3". 203 pounds, 203, 205. If we lose this game, do we go ahead and turn to the basketball? Well, that's up to you. That's up to you, Kevin. I don't know. I mean, I'm not. Even if I were a fan, I wouldn't. I mean, I'm still going to support these guys, right? Red and white Sunday, baby. Yep, you got the Razorback basketball scrimmage on Sunday. Don't think I'll be able to attend, and it's not going to be streamed. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll get ESPNto on Sunday. Yeah. So the changes on defense isn't going to be enough. Does Arkansas's offense take advantage of BYU, who on defense is sus? I think they absolutely have some issues on defense, and Arkansas should be able to exploit this game. Unfortunately, Arkansas's defense is really, really bad. I mean, their secondary, the second worst in the SEC. How Tennessee's secondary is worse, I have no idea. I am taking BYU to win this game. I haven't settled on a score yet. I'll probably post that in Discord. Well, I mean, I will post it in Discord. I'm thinking probably something like 44-39 or 44-35. I have next to no confidence in Arkansas's defense right now. I just have next to no confidence in their secondary. They couldn't stop Ramey Junior High. Their offense or their defense, excuse me, is really bad. Now I do think that offensively they ought to put up some pretty good numbers this weekend. They're going to have an opportunity to win this game. They're going to have opportunities to win this game. Hell, it wouldn't surprise me if they managed to find a way to hold on to a lead. But again, I just don't have a lot of faith in the secondary. I just believe physically wise, we should dominate this game. Yeah, I agree on the offensive side of things, just not on the defense. What's up, McCollum? How you doing, man? Love your show, my guy. Keep up the good work. Jeremy? Confident in the zero. I don't know what you mean. What do you mean confident in in the offense? Sorry. Yeah, I have confidence in the offense. But if you can't stop anybody, and the other problem that I have with the offense, one of the issues that I have is that these guys struggle to maintain drives. They don't finish off drives. They're struggling to find ways to score. They're leaving points on the board down the red zone. Turning the football over in the red zone. They're just not capping off drives with points. And that's, they can rack up 500 yards of offense every week, but what good does it do if you're not finding ways to score? We've not seen them do that at a consecutive we're not seeing them do that enough week to week. We're just not seeing it. And I mean, you look at, Cincinnati, you let those guys back into the game. South Carolina really stayed in the game. You did manage to score 44 points, but you gave up 30. South Carolina, you could not put them away. Missouri State, you couldn't put away. I mean, you saw what they did in the passing game. We all knew it was going to happen. A&M has been your best defensive effort this year is Texas A&M. You lose that game 23-21. And then these last 2 weeks, of course, you got to consider it is Alabama and Mississippi State, but there's nothing here to back up any confidence whatsoever in the secondary, or even the defense for that matter. I mean, they're giving up a lot on the ground lately. Just don't think they're there. Come on, Ty. Really, Brian? Is that shocking to you? I mean, I don't think it is. I don't think it's very shocking. I think if you consider where they've been, how easy it is for teams to score on this defense, I don't know. And it's at Provo, Utah. It's a sellout. It's a big deal. It's homecoming for these guys. Yeah, I think the odds just stack up against Arkansas a lot here. I do think it'll be a ball game. I don't think they get bodied. I really don't. The defense will, but I think the scoreboard will reflect a pretty competitive game. But I just don't know that I see Arkansas winning. And again, I think they'll have a chance at winning this game. I think they will, one way or another. They'll have a shot at winning this game, but they've got to prove it, right? They've got to really start to instill confidence because the body of work so far, I don't care that they lost 3 straight last year. Different scenario, completely different scenario. You had super seniors on both sides of the ball. You had Morgan and Henry rotating at linebacker. Nothing against Drew Sanders, who's you guys know how I feel about Drew Sanders. That guy's a potential first-round pick, but you don't have the communication. You don't have that team leader in Morgan. And Henry was pretty vocal as well. Guys that help set the defense, the true captains of that defense, they're all gone. No Fouché, no Brooks, Catalon was out at this point a year ago, but still, they're missing too much. I don't think it's fair to compare this team to last year. Now, again, this would be, to me, the only coin flip game right now as I see it left on the schedule. You could argue maybe Auburn might be a coin flip, just simply, even though I think Arkansas is a better team, despite how not great I think they are on defense. I think Arkansas the on-the-field product is a little bit better than Auburn's, but they've not had a lot of success winning at Auburn, right? But I feel like BYU is a game that could go either way here. I mean, it really could. But I just feel like with this being a perfect storm for BYU, again, with it being a home game, it's their homecoming, it's a big deal. They're a sellout. They got these specially made helmets. The fans are all wearing white. Come on, what more do you want? 63,000 is definitely not the most Arkansas has ever heard, right? I mean, this year alone, you've seen rowdy. They've seen rowdy stadiums, but. Some people suggest the fact that they're playing at a higher altitude matters. I don't know how much that actually affects the game, but I've heard a lot about it for teams that aren't used to going up to that altitude and playing there, that it can have an effect if you're not used to it. So I don't know. Maybe that's something we need to look at. I just think it's a perfect storm. Again, I think Arkansas is kind of walking into a hornet's nest. I do feel like if this were a neutral site or if it were in favor, I probably would favor Arkansas. I mean, I think, and again, until Arkansas's defense shows otherwise, it's hard for me to pick Arkansas. They're not giving me a lot, right, when it comes to here's why you should pick us. They're not the sexiest car in the car lot right now. That was about you believing we can't win? I never said I believe that we can't win. I never said that. I don't know where you heard that, Brian. I hope every single BYU fan gets mustard on their shirts, right? If Hogs can win that game away in a fired-up whiteout game, Arkansas gets a giant boost. Yeah, I agree. And that's why I'm saying I think this could be a catalyst type of game. You go in there, you get a big win, all of a sudden, man, the confidence level changes. And the coaching staff, the players, the fans, you name it. Like all of a sudden things change. And this is one of those kind of games. BYU doesn't lose at home. That's something else you need to look at, right? They don't lose at home. They played Notre Dame in Vegas. I didn't know that until Dudley pointed that out. But Utah State, Wyoming, and Baylor, they've beaten all three of these teams. They scored 26-20 on Baylor, who at the time was number 9 in the country. Wyoming, they beat 38-24. Utah State, they beat 38-26. They went on the road, and they did struggle against South Florida. I was wrong. It was going into the third quarter. It was a tight game, and they turned it on in the second half. But they struggled against Wyoming, and they struggled against Utah State. I do think Arkansas on paper is a slightly better team, but they've just got a lot of holes and injuries and things going on the defensive side of the ball. It just makes it really hard to pick Arkansas right now. Prove me wrong. Oh, interesting factoid. After they play Arkansas, they got to go on the road and play Liberty. So there you go. They got to play Liberty. And they do have Stanford left on their schedule along with at Boise State. So they got a pretty rough – they still got some games here that are going to be pretty tough for them. So anyways, all right, that's going to do it. I do appreciate you guys. Remember to like, share, subscribe. I realize some folks get a little like it's not the positivity that you want. I get it, but I mean I can't pick the Hogs simply to make people happy. That's not how I operate here, right? I go by what my eyes tell me. If I think Arkansas is just not very good right now, then I'm gonna say it. And I don't think they're really bad. I just think that they've got a lot of things they got to work through. And until they show us otherwise that they're capable of doing it, it's really, like I said a minute ago, it's really hard to pick Arkansas in games like this. Maybe they show us something this weekend. I do think it's going to be, like I said, it's got the feelings of low 40s, something like a 44-40 kind of game, something like that. I think Arkansas will be in position to win this game. I think there will be a shot here. Now, it could get out of hand. BYU, I mean, Arkansas may be in for a shock. I don't know. BYU is – I think they're capable of beating the hell out of some teams. They haven't really done that this year, though. They've lost to some – they went on the road and they lost to Oregon pretty badly, and they lost to I don't even know what to make of Notre Dame this year. I mean, they're certainly not a great football team, I'll tell you that. I mean, they've got a brutal schedule. And maybe that's one way of looking at it too. They just got out of a real physical battle with Notre Dame last weekend. I didn't watch any of it. Again, that's why I had no idea that thing was in Vegas. But talking to some people, they said it was a real physical matchup for BYU. So maybe they're a little banged up. I mean, I kind of feel like this is one of those games where absolutely anything can happen. But, yeah, unfortunately, I've got to take BYU in this one. But hopefully they'll do something to make me change my mind. I don't know. Brian says my bad then. Yeah, I don't think I said they absolutely can't win this game, Brian. I think they can, but I don't think they will. They just haven't, again, when you look at the body of work, we just haven't seen it. Got to get that number way up. That's what wins this game, 73%. Talking about red zone percentage. Yeah, it's bad. They're really bad in the red zone. I talked about that a little bit ago. They're bad in the red zone, man. Turn the ball over. Not able to convert on fourth down when going for it. It's just not been real, I don't know. Allow me for this game. Allow you to what? I don't know what you're talking about, Richard. Anyways, you guys have a good weekend. I will remember we'll be live on the postgame show on Hogville Net YouTube. If you guys haven't already, go you're talking about doing the Woo Pig. I will, yes. Woo Pig. There you go, Richard. Woo Pig. I will allow it, sir. Of course, always. But I'll see you guys over on the postgame show tomorrow. Again, hopefully I'm wrong. No one will be happier if I'm wrong. Absolutely nobody will be happier. I hope I am. I really hope I am. I hope Arkansas proves me wrong tomorrow. So I'll see you guys in the postgame show. Woo Pig, and I'll see you then.